order. And turn the time over to Dr. Brown for his comments.
Well, good evening. I think we're all glad that we have reached October. September was a challenging month in the school business, but I do want to say how proud we are of our students, our teachers, our support staff, and our leaders. Even in the weather last week, teachers opening car doors, bus drivers getting students to and from school safely. Just how much we appreciate all of our people and all of their efforts to make sure that our students are safe and take care of our schools. It was a tremendous team effort. And even this week with the chemical fire down in Rockdale County and how that changed some operations for a little bit of time. So really appreciate everybody's cooperation and work on that. Ms. Todd will talk about this later, but we had the Teacher of the Year and Support Person of the Year banquet last week. What an amazing event to celebrate our people. And that's really what it's about. It's about people and their willingness to go above and beyond and their love of kids and their love of school. And so I want to say thank you to them. Fall break starts for our students and staff next Thursday, and I'm sure nobody is looking forward or ahead to that. Also want to say congratulations, Mary Blackburn. I know Mr. Hooper is going to mention this in a few minutes, has been named one of the 3 finalists for the Georgia Secondary School Principals Association Georgia Principal of the Year. So congratulations to Dr. Blackburn. Those dates on fall break are October the 10th through the 15th. So I want to wish our students and staff a wonderful break. At this time, I'd like to call up Dr. Christy Holloway and her students from Heroes Elementary School.
First. Okay.
We stand for pledge.
Thank you, Dr. Brown and our board for having us tonight. We're so proud to have our Heroes students and parents here for the first time. We've brought you something that some of our leadership team students would like to give you. These are our commitments that our staff has committed to for our students this year. So just a little bit about what our staff is doing is on the card. And now we have a video to tell you a lot about what our entire school community has been doing since we opened. Our leadership team helped work on this video. You'll see them a lot appearing in the video and also hear their voices. But these students who are behind me represent 4th and 5th graders who, like Dr. Brown just mentioned, are willing to go above and beyond. They're already serving our school in many ways. So tonight they're representing and showing you a little bit about what's going on at Heroes Elementary. Also with me are my 2 assistant principals, Ms. Hill and Ms. Ledford. And also we have Laura Bell, who is one of the leaders of our student leadership team. And also Lori Clark is leading that team as well. She couldn't be here tonight. So thank you to everybody who's here, and we hope you enjoy our video about Heroes.
68 days ago, we gathered together to celebrate a special moment, the ribbon-cutting ceremony that marked the beginning of our journey as Heroes Elementary. From that day forward, we've embraced the challenge of working together to create a school that we all love. Every day, our students have been heroes in their own right, exploring new ideas, building friendships, and developing a love for learning.
Welcome to our school, where teaching and learning go hand in hand. We believe that every student deserves a dynamic and engaging educational experience. Our dedicated teachers utilize small groups to create personalized learning experience. This approach allows for tailored instruction, ensuring that every student's needs nature and science. Incorporating technology is another way we enhance learning. Collaborative projects using digital tools prepare our students for the future while making learning fun and interactive. We also prioritize quiet reflection and independent work. This fosters a love for reading and encourages critical thinking skills. Our teachers are committed to creating a supportive and inclusive environment where every voice is heard. Together, we are building a vibrant community where teaching and learning thrive.
What a fantastic evening we had at our Chick-fil-A Spirit Night, hosted by our amazing PTO. The energy was electric and families and friends came together to support our school. It was wonderful to see our community together, fostering connections and school spirit.
Our kindergartners had an exciting time learning and exploring during our Career Day and Community Helper Day. And what better way to celebrate than by dressing up as their future selves. We saw future astronauts, teachers, and artists all around. Our Community Helper Day was just as thrilling. We welcomed the Jackson Trail Fire Department, Pet Dairy of Brazelton, and the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Students learned about the important roles these helpers play in keeping our community safe.
Thanks to our amazing school community, we raised over $40,000 for new books and upgrades to our Heroes Hangout for our first fundraiser. First up, it was time to silly string your teacher. Our students had a blast showering their favorite teachers with colorful strings, and who could forget the pie in the face event? Teachers and admin took it like champs while students cheered them on. We even transformed our principals and counselor into human sundaes. It was a deliciously hilarious sight that everyone enjoyed. To cap off our fundraising success, we hosted a school-wide glow run. Students lit up the gym with their glow sticks as they ran for a great cause.
At our school, we believe that every day counts. That's why we're excited to announce our monthly French fry party supported by McDonald's. Each month, teachers select one student from their class who achieves perfect attendance. These lucky students are invited to enjoy a fun celebration with delicious McDonald's fries. This special treat not only rewards our students, but also prompts the endurance of being present in class every day. Our school came together to honor the heroes and victims of 9/11 with a heartfelt ceremony led by our 5th grade students. These dedicated students researched the stories of heroic individuals and the lives lost that day, sharing the findings with our community heroes, our local police officers, firefighters, and EMS. In a touching act of remembrance, our 5th graders painted rocks in red, white, and blue, symbolizing the different heroes we are. These rocks will be permanently displayed outside of our school. Following the ceremony, students of all grade levels participated in a touch a truck day, where they had the chance to meet local heroes and explore the view. Our school came alive with creativity and imagination as we celebrated Dog Day. Our talented art teacher, Mrs. Mitchell, brought everyone together by creating a stunning mural for our hallway. This mural combines our students' favorite heroes, symbolizing the idea that creativity and teamwork can create something truly special. Students of all grades dressed up in their best style outfits, showcasing their unique styles and creativity. Throughout the day, everyone participated in fun lessons focused on dots and the importance of creativity. It was a wonderful way to inspire our students to think out of the box. Heroes Elementary has some amazing students and potential leaders in our building. Almost 30 students went
There are interviews led by some of our 2024 through 2025 HES hometown heroes. Thank you to our board member, Reggie Sanders, and Superintendent Dr. Brown, and HES heroes, Imogene Roncadori, James Jones, Tim Couch, and Darren Cimarosa, for your help in the selection of our very first student leadership team. We hosted our very first parent involvement night, focused on our curriculum, and it was a fantastic success. Parents gathered to learn about the exciting programs and initiatives that support our students' learning experiences. Teachers shared valuable insights into our curriculum, providing tips and resources that empower parents to support their children's education at home. The evening was filled with engaging discussions and a wonderful exchange of ideas. It was great to see our community come together. Our music teacher, Miss Stephanie Cleveland, was surprised with a check for $7,000 by Georgia Teacher of the Year, Christy Todd. 11 Alive News, the Georgia Teachers Initiative, Extra Yard Teachers, the Country Music Foundation, and the College Football Playoff Foundation. This money will go towards the development of a music studio at Heroes Elementary School. Our dedicated teachers participate in professional learning communities twice a week. During these PLCs, teachers share effective strategies, analyzing student data, and support one another in their professional life. As we look back on these first 68 days, we celebrate not just what we've accomplished, but the spirit of teamwork and resilience that defines Heroes Elementary. Together, we're just getting started. Exciting things are on the horizon. Stay tuned to discover what we continue to build together in the next 112 days.
Well, great job, Heroes Elementary students and admin team and teachers and parents. Students, that's what it's all about right there. We love seeing all of the great things that you all are doing. So thank you for sharing that with us. I have the privilege, board, thank you for having us up here tonight. I have the privilege of sharing our math data finally. As you know, it was delayed due to the rollout of the new standards this year and the standard setting. So that was just released this week. So we wanted to bring you that update to start off. And I think this is slightly out of order in your agenda, but our presentation starts with the data. So I'll go in that direction, and then we'll share the first update with you after that. So with our new standards, the state shared with us that we likely would see a decreased decreased percentage of level 4s, the highest level, and potentially level 3s. And so we're happy to report that we actually saw increases in almost every grade level in our math data. So in the rollout of a new standards year, when we had that prediction from the state that we wouldn't really be able to compare the two and to expect fewer 4s, we were really pleased about that, with the exception of third grade, which kind of mirrors our reading data. So that's the one that we're starting off with, and we did have a decrease in third grade, and we have a pretty strong focus on really looking at that vertical progression between second and third grade. But overall, our math data is really strong. And so moving on forward, we had an increase in our fourth grade data, slight increase there, an increase in our fifth grade, Again, a slight increase. Where we really saw the significant jump is in middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th. We had really significant gains in our levels of 3s and 4s. And so in just really digging into this and talking with our teams, I think that work that we're doing with common assessments, the high-quality curriculum resources, and really the PLCs. I actually touched base with Ms. McMenemy this afternoon, and I said, share with me anything that you want me to really shout out in terms of just what has fueled that strong growth. And she said, really, those middle school PLCs, they have really thrived. And not only have they worked so well within their school-based professional learning communities, but they've really collaborated across the district. So that is just work that we are continuing. She also wanted me to share, the use of really kind of helping our middle school teachers embrace the differentiated small group instruction and the use of manipulatives. So that's ongoing work that we're continuing to do, but it's great to really see that strong payoff. So you can see 7th grade again, just a really great increase there, and then 8th grade as well. So significant gains in the middle school data for math. Algebra 1, we had slight gains, but this is where we're continuing to dig in and really build that PLC work with our teams within the schools and then across the district using our design teams, those teacher teams that are coming together to really evaluate the practices, the resources, the common assessments. So while we were glad to see those slight gains, it's not where we want to be with Algebra 1, so that will just be ongoing work that we are committed to and to continue to see that increase. We also wanted to share with you that we have upcoming our assessment day. And this is the second year that we've done this, where we take a day and we really provide the different opportunities to our students. So our 9th graders will be taking the PSAT. The 10th graders will also be taking the PSAT as a qualifying test for the National Merit Scholarship. And then our 11th and 12th graders will have the opportunity to take the ACT or the ASVAB, both of which are components that fuel that readiness component of the CCRPI. And so just a quick overview of those. Again, this is not really new. We did this last year, had a great response from it, just continuing to build on that. But just an overview of those assessments that will be available to our students on the 23rd. And we feel that giving those assessments here and having the opportunity for our students to take the ACT and the ASVAB right here in their home environment is just a great opportunity for them. So kudos to Sandy Aiken and Martha Wilson and all the school teams who have been working to coordinate that. As you know, when you're coordinating activities between 2 high schools and the College and Career Center, it's a lot going on, but we appreciate their hard work to make sure that that happens. And then SAT scores did actually roll out, but ACT is not out quite yet, and then graduation rate will be released. So we just wanted to let you know we'll bring all of that data to you next month. You probably saw in the paper our SAT scores are well above the national and state average, and we're real proud of the graduation rate too. It's just not, the official is not quite released, so that'll be next month. And then I wanted to invite Jamie Harris up to join me. She's going to give us a little overview of our First Reader initiative, which is not new, but we've rekindled our efforts and want to invite you to join us in that. So Ms. Harris is going to give you a little overview of what's happening with that. I'll let you click here. Thank you.
Okay, so you should have a folder that's either blue or gray, and the first thing in it is just a little page from First Readers just about what it is. So if you're not familiar with it, I just wanted to give you a brief overview before we talk about First in Jackson County. So First Readers is basically all about providing quality books to children aged birth to 5. And their program essentially sends a book every month to any child who is enrolled that is appropriate for their age range. And it shows up once a month, and it not only comes with a book, but parents also get a little guide with how to read the book to their child, suggestions for questions to ask, and also other resources and games they can play for math and for early literacy and cognitive development. And there are actually a few resources, pardon me, on the end down here. Mr. Johnson, if y'all want to kind of pass those down. One of them is a collection of all the books or some of the books that they send out to students, or not students yet, children. Another one is a sample parent newsletter that arrives with books. And then there is actually one of the books that is going out this month to our children in Jackson County with another parent newsletter. So you can look at those kind of as they come down the line. And so that's what it's about. And it's $42 a year to provide books to one child. So the child gets 12 books, parents get 12 newsletters, and a lot of resources. And so that's kind of what they're about. So this is a continued partnership. We launched a partnership with First in 2022 when we actually launched a partnership with Get Georgia Reading. And part of that initiative involved promoting First and getting children enrolled in that birth to 5 population to hopefully prepare them and create a situation where we have greater kindergarten readiness for a larger group of students. And so between 2022 and 2024, we have largely been funding First with CARES funds, and those have gone away, but that was kind of how we got the program up and running. We've had an average of about 75 students receiving books each month. That has fluctuated as children were born or children graduated out of the program when they turned 5 and went to kindergarten. We have 82 students currently enrolled, and we have been focusing largely on our very specified populations that we knew might not have books in the home or might need more targeted support. So we've often gone through Babies Can't Wait or used Child Find. And so that's been kind of where the support has been. But we would like to make a shift. This is another example. These are some of the books that are also coming out this month. But we're trying to make a shift into broadening the scope of this partnership. And what we really want to do is provide a way that every child that's born in Jackson County, regardless of what district they will go to, regardless of what situation they're born into, that they have access to books, to quality books, and that their parents have access to resources to be able to read to their child. And so what we're trying to do now is build some partnerships in the community to make this a sustainable program and not something that will kind of grow and then maybe go away. We want to make sure it's sustainable and it's supported. So we're working on building partnerships. We already have some partnerships in place that we've been working on over the last couple of months. So we're partnering currently with Jackson EMC, with Kiwanis, with the Jackson County Family Connection, and with our local libraries. And so those are some of the partnerships we've been able to manage currently. We're really hoping to build a team in the county that is focused on this work and reaching that population birth to 5 that we know is such a need. We're also working on securing funding. We're currently writing a couple of grants, and we're looking for sponsorships and donations in a variety of ways. The last thing we're doing right now is planning for promotion. So once we've kind of secured that funding, we have those partnerships in place, we're looking to start with our current pre-K students and make sure that all of those students are enrolled. So if you're going to pre-K in Jackson County schools and you're not enrolled, there's at least a year of books that you could be receiving. And then we're also looking to have some booths at our school and system events this year and at the parent workshops that we host. And so we're starting there. And then beyond that, we have this flyer. We're planning to send this out through retired teachers, through Jackson County Family Connection, through Kiwanis meetings. So our partners in the community are really planning to kind of promote this, help us promote this. And you have several of these flyers in your folder as well. So if you know of other community organizations or individuals that you know would be really passionate about this, please send their names our way or give them this flyer and they can contact us. We would really like to get to a place where we are reaching every child birth to 5. We really would like to be at a place where in hospital paperwork, when a child is born in Jackson County, that is just there in the hospital paperwork, and they fill it out before they leave the hospital, and we know that child is going to get 12 books every year for 5 years before they show up in kindergarten. And so this is kind of our timeline. Everything we've been working on this fall is kind of what I just talked about. In the spring, we plan to really, once we've got more funding, really promote our partnership with First and hopefully have more workshops to reach our birth to 5 populations. And like I said, that goal is every child birth to 5 has access to books and their parents have access to resources. Do y'all have any questions about what we're working on currently?
That sounds really exciting.
It is very exciting. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I'm very excited.
The great thing I'll say about this too is when you strike up this conversation with every partner, of course they want to help. They want to get
Yes.
involved. So it's
Yeah.
an easy thing to promote. So that's why we wanted to get the flyers to you, because you may go places that you can just give people a flyer. And honestly, they can just scan that code and donate if they want to. So it has been, it's one of those things that does feel good to talk to
Yeah.
folks about. So we're excited about expanding that.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm sure you. Oh, good.
Thank you so much.
We need a little bell to ring.
I know, we do.
I'm sure you've already thought about it, but if you haven't, have you reached out to like the local libraries?
Yes, and we'll
Yes.
definitely partner with those. But truly, any organizations that you know of, women's clubs, Friends of the Library, we do want to get on your retired educators
Yeah, yeah.
calendar.
Please.
Yeah.
Some things like that. We welcome all of your thoughts and just want to be a network to kind of collaborate and get the word out about it.
That's great.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank y'all.
Yep,
Thank you.
Jamie.
Well, good evening. I am so excited tonight to just kind of highlight our Teacher and Support Person of the Year banquet that we had recently. I am thankful that we were able to pull it off. We dodged the weather and got it in. And I think it's important because if you've ever seen the TED Talk, Every Kid Deserves a Champion. If you haven't, Google it. It's inspiring. But I also believe that every educator deserves a champion. And that's what this night was all about, is championing those who come in a hurricane, opening car doors, and doing what they do because they love our students. And so just a quick little video that we have to show you some highlights from that banquet. It was a wonderful evening. I think the highlight for me, not only celebrating these wonderful educators, but watching the faces of their family members and the pride that they had. And that's just, it's a very special evening, and thank you for your support for that. That video that was made was through our PR department. Savannah Jacobs helped make that. They were there to help shout those out on social media. And just a huge thank you to all the sponsors, because the banquet was completely done by sponsorships, and that says a lot about our community. Just to highlight our winners, it was a big night. Katie Stone was the Teacher of the Year from East Jackson High School. Lindsay Irwin was the Support Person of the Year from East Elementary. And then our Bus Driver of the Year, this is our second year doing that, was Mr. Philip Ernest. And we love this picture because he was just so excited to get this award and just snuggled up right there to Dr. Brown. And so we just had the best night, and I just wanted to thank you again for your support for that, and we look forward to this event every single year.
All right, good evening, board. I just want to follow up with what she said. Great night, and it's one of my favorite nights to be here in Jackson County. I don't have a slide for this, but I was looking at this earlier, so I wanted to bring it to you guys. We always say, our social media has big power of what we can do. And so I looked at the numbers for the last month, and they're the biggest numbers I've ever seen. So I wanted to share. In the last 30 days, our Facebook page on our district account has reached 243,211 accounts, has been engaged 53,304 times. Our Instagram account, 205,000, almost 206,000 views, almost 8,000 engagements. So obviously, we had some school closings, and that got shared a bunch through the day and all that. But just really shows you the power of our social media to share our message. So I always like to kind of keep you informed on some of those numbers jump out. So Dr. Brown kind of stole my thunder, but we do want to say congratulations again to Dr. Mary Blackburn. For being a finalist for Georgia Principal of the Year. And something really cool was when she left for her finalist interview, the students at Empower held signs up for her. She did not know this was coming. They kind of took a couple minutes out of their day to wish her good luck out the door. And I think that speaks a lot about her leadership in this building. And so kudos to her for representing herself and Empower and our school system at the highest level of the state. So, and kudos to the students for taking time out of their day to make a leader feel special. And then the final thing tonight, I want to welcome Ms. Jill Weldon up here, our media specialist at Jackson County High School. She's been working on a passion project since they left this building that we're in and moved to the new one. And they announced it a couple weeks ago, and I said, can you come share this with us? So what this is Jackson County High School's been around a long time. And this now has a way to see the record and the history of Jackson County High School that even goes past Mr. Sanders. That wasn't a shot. I didn't mean it like that. I mean, maybe I did. So I really want her to talk about it and be able to show it to you guys here tonight because it's tremendous work. And so she deserves, and her team deserve all the credit. So.
Hey there, and I have to thank Mr. Sanders because he was instrumental in getting us a lot of the yearbooks, a lot of the memorabilia for it. And I don't have a mouse, so I don't. So this is really just the beginning phases of what we dreamed that this project was going to be. So when we left this campus, we kind of fell into a really exciting opportunity that we realized that there wasn't a system, there wasn't an organized system of our history. So we've just kind of started whittling away at it. And one of the things that was important to us was that we wanted to make sure that it was something that everybody could get to, that it was digital, because we had a lot of calls on a regular basis of people wanting to look at yearbooks and wanting to know if they could buy a yearbook from 1970, and I'm like, we just don't have that. And so what we've done now is we have gone ahead and digitized, I think we're up to 1961. So we have 1961 all the way up until now. We didn't put the last couple of years on just because we wanted to respect the yearbook class. But what you can do is you can click on it, and then it opens up, and you can browse through the yearbook. Do you want to click on it or just choose one?
Go ahead, 1984.
This boy, I wasn't going to ask you.
Page 78.
Oh, okay. And so Ms. Gillespie, too, I kind of shared my vision with her. This is what I want to do. This is, what I want to see. And she was great going, okay, what do you need? And she found we've got a book scanner. We had a student worker last year that scanned all of these. This wasn't me. She worked on scanning all of these. And of course, and Mr. Sanders got us the years that we were missing. So I'm hoping our goal is now to get the advanced photography classes to start going over to Gordon Street and start taking pictures of the Letterman jackets, the different things, and we're going to start building out that. So we have scrapbooks there, yearbooks, and then we're going to start working with some of the elementary schools and try to get their yearbooks, start scanning those in so that it's not just Jackson County High School. It's going to be all of Jackson County. And so it's just a project we're excited about. It's going to outlive me. It's going to outlive us. And I'm hoping that it builds pride and that we've shared it home. Our goal was to have it all out by homecoming week so that we could share it out. And we're going to start just kind of highlighting. We did class of 1974, their 50th year, homecoming. So I hope to do a montage of all the homecoming queens over the years. So I'm excited what we can do now that it's here. So, yep. Is that good?
I asked like months ago to see this, and she told me no. And then I was like, "Can I at least share with Dr. Brown?" No, you have to wait till it's done. I love that it says holding institution too, so we always know where it's going to be at, which is really great. But we talk about. This morning, Dr. Brown talked to our student teachers about we're growing, but we want to have a small system feel as we continue to grow. And this stuff like this is how you continue to do that and carry on the legacy of Jackson County. So really great job, Ms. Weldon. And that's all I have for you tonight, unless you have any questions.
Well, so I lost my senior yearbook. And so when I saw this, I got to show my kids. And so I thank you very much.
That's pretty cool, pretty special stuff. Yeah. So, and that happens to people, right? I mean, they lose their yearbook, they move, a flood happens, whatever might happen. And so now we have that ability and people get a little more pride. That's where they come from. So awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. It's neat.
Good evening, board members. Grateful for a chance to share a few things with you this evening. First, let's look at our enrollment for this past month. And the number that we had on September 30th was down just a bit from August, but just learned a few minutes ago that that number is right back up to where it was in August. So we've added 29 more. We're right back to where we were. So we do have a little more transition month to month. For time to time, we have kids that kind of come and go. So that number does fluctuate from one month to another in some ways. But right now our count is exactly what it was in August, about 11,272 as of today. So we're holding steady on that, which is about 619 students more than we had 12 months ago. Just to be clear, we're still up about 6% or so in growth. The second thing I get to share with you tonight is awesome. I get to talk a little bit about some of the great things that are happening in our high schools, middle schools, and at Empower with extracurriculars and activities. And I'm just excited to share a few highlights of some of the things that are going on, just to make sure. I know you probably know more about some of this than I do, but I try to keep up with some of these things, and we wanted to share some things. So at East Jackson High School, a few highlights that are happening. Our volleyball team there is currently ranked 3rd in Class 2A in the state. And they are now at 7-1 in the region, and 23-11, and won about 8 or 9 in a row before last night. So they're really having a great finish to the season. We're excited to see them as they head for the playoffs. We're excited for that for them. Our cross-country team at East Jackson High School, the boys are currently ranked 2nd in the state, and they have a number 1 runner in the state in their classification. Our girls are currently ranked 5th in cross-country at East Jackson. So they're getting ready and building up their stamina for a state run as well. Grateful for that. Our football team is at 3-3 at East Jackson and in the playoff hunt, and they'll continue to fight tomorrow night at Franklin County. I'm excited to see them continue their season. Competition cheer is off and running. They placed 2nd in their first competition, and will continue to move toward hopefully a place at state as well this year. And our softball team, they're seeded to make the playoffs at East Jackson, and that's a great accomplishment for that group as they continue to build that program. And sideline cheer, esports, flag football, one-act play, and our marching band are all into their seasons and beginning competition in the next week or so. So we're grateful for all those opportunities as well at East Jackson. At Jackson County High School, the volleyball team is currently 30-6, ranked number 9 in 5A, probably a little underranked, to be honest. They've beaten number 7 team and several others, but they're having a great season, 6-0 undefeated in region play, and preparing for the region tournament and state playoffs there. Our football team at Jackson County High School is currently 4-2, 1-1 in the region, and in the playoff hunt in Class 5A. And they've got a big game tomorrow night at Appalachia, and certainly there to help support that community, but also play a little football. So that should be a great night there as those folks had their first home game since the tragedy. We had a big homecoming win over Alcovy last week, 48-10, and so Jackson County football is doing well is doing well. Cross country, the girls are projected to be a top 10 team at this point in their season, and our boys are projected to be in the top 16, both hoping to make state in that area as well, which is a great improvement for that program. And our softball team is currently 3rd in the region, projected to make the playoffs. If they'll continue that run, they have a chance still to be region champs. They've just got to win out and see some other things happen, but they're playing right now at Habersham, so hopefully they get one tonight. And they've got a couple more games to see how that finishes up for them until they get to the playoffs. And they also have the same sports, sideline cheer, esports, flag football, one-act play, and marching band, all preparing for competitions this weekend and into the next few weeks. So we're excited for that. Middle school accomplishments, several things to note. In cross country, our East Jackson Middle School boys and girls won the conference championship last week and ran some amazing times for those young people. So great feeder programs there for our high school. And the middle school, West Jackson Middle School boys and girls both finished as runner-up. So when you think about that 10-school conference that we compete in the middle school level, we had the championship team and the runner-up team representing Jackson County. And our Legacy Knoll kids also finished in the top 5, so we had really 3 great finishes from each of our schools in cross country. In volleyball, in the conference championship, our West Jackson Middle School team won the championship this year, beating our East Jackson team for the championship. The 2 best teams in the conference were both Jackson County teams as well in volleyball, and so we're excited for that. The West Jackson football team is currently 4-1 with 1 more game to play on Saturday, and so they're also finishing up that season at middle school. A lot of great things happening there. And lastly, just to kind of highlight a few things happening at Empower. You know, there's always things happening at Empower, right? But a couple things that we wanted to highlight. Our JROTC Raider team hosted a competition this past Saturday at the high school. The boys finished 2nd overall with many teams there, and our girls finished in 3rd place overall for that Raider competition. So we're excited for them. And the Jackson Empower FFA group, their livestock exhibitors will be competing at the Georgia National Fair this month and preparing for the FFA National Convention as well. So we're excited for them. A couple of teacher accolades that we wanted to point out from our Empower folks. Emily Gunderson was named the Georgia Biotech Teacher of the Year, and we want to make sure we noted that. And Dr. Cheryl Guy was named the Next Gen Personal Finance Distinguished Educator for Personal Finance by the Next Gen organization. So a couple things happening there among the staff there. So many great things. I did not certainly hit all of them, I promise, but we wanted to highlight a few things just to make sure that we're celebrating all the great things that our students and staff are doing at each of our schools. Thank you. Any questions about any of that? Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Good evening, Board. Before we get right into the numbers, I just have a couple of things that I want to remind you of or inform you of. Heroes Elementary, we are about to make the final payments on that project, and at this point, we have less than $500,000 that we owe to complete that project. So that is huge at this point. And I have to say, again, I've said it many months in a row, I have to say kudos to Southern A&E, Carol Daniel, and all their subcontractors for the efforts that they put in and the job that they did to get that building built so quickly, because without that, we would have a lot of kids still in mobile units. So their attention to that and ability to get that project done so quick was amazing. With that being said, that quick timeline also created a shortened construction payout period. So instead of having 18 months where payments were stretched out over 18 months and we were able to collect extra SPLOST funds and make smaller payments over that time frame, we actually, again, have paid everything but about $500,000 in a year's time. So it has created a little bit of a cash flow, situation, but we are fine. And we are going to be able, over the next 4 to 5 months, to reimburse the general fund with some accumulated SPLOST funds for some of those construction costs that we paid out of the general fund. So between some of those SPLOST reimbursements and the property tax that will be coming in, you will see in the coming months that our fund balance and cash flow will be brought back to what we're all used to seeing and what we expect to see with our fund balance. And my projections are that we are going to come very close to, if not over, our goal of $30 million for our ending fund balance this year. So I know the numbers look a little, scary. Yes, I've been here through the scary times, so yes, but they're not. I can guarantee you, we are in a great place. And we knew that with trying to finish these 2 big projects and pay down debt and purchase property, that cash flow was going to be a little tight. But we've been watching it, and all will be good.
I want to mention something about Heroes. When we make the final payment, we will get reimbursed by the DOE. A little over $900,000 is the final capital outlay payment on Heroes, and so with owing 500 and then getting 900 back, that puts us in a pretty good position to have that. We'll let you guys know when the final payments are made on Heroes. So check that off the list.
Yep, as soon as we get the final certification from the architect on the project, then we can submit all the final paperwork to DOE and get that final reimbursement to us. So again, like Dr. Brown said, that's close to $1 million that we'll be getting back on that project. If you want to look at SPLOST, you can see that it is down a little bit over each of the measurements, month over month, year over year, and the 12-month average. but not significantly, just a small dip. And I expect to continue seeing that SPLOST number to be good and be somewhere between 1.15 and $1.2 million on a regular basis. And with our financials, you can see that, of course, at this point, we are a little below where we are at this point in the year with our revenue collection. But again, that's because we've not started collecting our property tax revenue. In the next couple of months, you should see that number shoot way up and everything start to fall back in line and be where we expect to see it. I am very excited to say that if you take out our open purchase orders, where our expenses are actually a little bit below where we are at this point in the year. We're actually at 24% actual expenditures. So we are right in line, no overexpending. So if we continue in that fashion and we continue monitoring our expenses in the budget, then again, I feel like that we are going to end this fiscal year in a very, very good position fund balance wise. And again, this is the scary one to look at when you compare where we are at this point in the year compared to last year. But again, when we start reimbursing the general fund with some of this accumulated SPLOST funds and the property tax money starts coming in between December, January, and February, you will see a tremendous improvement in that fund balance. Any questions?
Good afternoon, Board. Mr. Farmer said he'd give me 2 minutes, so I'm good. All right. No, we have a lot of information to present tonight on the operation side of things. One board item, and we'd like to do a presentation on safety and security, just to ensure you that we've got a lot of good things going on in our district and assure the community that we're addressing some issues and concerns from that side. So I think the first thing needs to be, the commendations need to go to the school system and the board. Over time, have done a lot of really positive things. Ms. Dodge had pulled some numbers, expenditures on safety and security over the last 3 or 4 years, and it's an extreme number. I don't remember the total because it had salaries and a lot of other things in it, but and it had our new facilities as well, which is an initiative to create safer environments for our students. But, there's been millions of dollars spent in that realm and continues to be spent toward securing our facilities. Now, with that being said, it goes back to the state has provided some funding for security over time. I can remember back in 18 when 16 million was provided, and then they had some incidents nationwide, and the next year 69 million was provided, and throughout the state for security issues. At this point, they're giving $47.5 per facility or per school for security and safety purposes to fund that, and that'll be a regular funding, is my understanding, over time. So we've got a lot of positive things going on there. I also just want to say that safety and security is one of our fundamental core values in our strategic plan. So it is on the forefront. Our district has been a leader in numerous things. Some of that early money was spent on safety, security vestibules at our schools. Some of you can remember that. Updating camera systems back in 18 and 19. So there was a lot of work done at that time. But we've been dedicated to kind of remaining at the forefront. In our safety and security department, of course, you all are familiar with Mr. Kent. He has been a great leader for our team. Across the board, I think there's a lot of confidence throughout the district and a high expectation that he has for our schools and for things to be done correctly. And safety is always that number one thing. So I have to give kind of kudos to him. He has raised the bar, in my opinion, over the last 2 years and continues to make great strides to make us better in that department. His experience and background just clearly makes us more thorough in many of our practices. So we appreciate him. We also We'll have a field technician's job that will be filled this month. We're excited about bringing that second member. That person will be doing upgrades on our systems and kind of updating things and kind of save us money on the other end of things where we won't have to hire outside people. But it'll be nice to have that second person on board as well. There's a lot of safety initiatives throughout the district. You know, Centegix has been one of those initiatives that was began back in after the pandemic. It had been in place 3 years prior to this year, so I think we're in our 4th year of that. Safety drills are very routine for us, very demanding for our schools sometimes. Access controls, that was part of some of those early initiatives. Raptor, camera systems, we could go down the list. You all are very familiar with Flock on our campuses, the GPS technology on our buses, which makes our buses more safe, and we're able to locate those. Resource officers, there's a commitment there. Health services, social workers, psychologists, just a numerous amount of things that we have to kind of keep in mind. We really believe in our schools that we should be very proud of the culture, creating that culture of belonging. There's no single activity that allows us to build that culture. It happens every day. You all see it. I see it. If you ride up to our campuses, you see the teachers out front and staff out front welcoming kids, smiling. You've got music playing at our elementary schools. You've got extracurricular activities. You just got a really positive culture across the district. We can be very proud of that. You all should be very proud of that. Positive staff, they're very connected to our students. You know, from the moment we get students there, getting off the bus into their cars, you know, that experience shapes that connection, right? Makes our schools more safe. We believe this is the key overall to the success of a district and to secure our buildings and makes our buildings more safe. That connection between the students and adults on that campus is crucial. I also have to mention custodians. I have to mention our cafeteria staff. I have to mention our bus drivers. From my world, they connect with many students, and they're very important in that equation as well. A lot of the programs, we've mentioned some of these, but positive behavioral interventions and support, PBIS, the Legacy Youth Mentoring Program, connects adults in our community to our students. That's a great thing for our students, but it's also a great thing for our community to be in our schools and be around our students and to see the great things going on. Extracurricular activities is always a positive thing. We've got many kids involved in that. It's you know, we heard Mr. Wester's presentation of the success. Success breeds positivity. So there's a lot of great things going on, and kudos to that staff and the high expectations. School counseling services is all available, and the normalizing support for mental health is also available in our schools. Project Aware, it's a grant-funded program. We had funding through that grant that funded a project coordinator, 2 clinicians. It's very positive. It's funded over the next 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. I think we're in year 2. But we've got like a 5-year grant for that. Additional staff over time, additional psychologists, social workers, those have been hired over the last 3 years. And we couldn't help but highlight the CHAMPS program as well, as it's very positive for our students. Bringing in the SROs and Jackson County Sheriff's Office to provide that service. If you're not aware, Mr. Drew was in an accident early in the year, maybe the first or second day of school. I spoke to him today. He's fine. I told him I was going to put his picture up here, so we highlighted him. I told him we had 2 pictures. I said, I got the one off the camera where you got hit, and I got this one. I said, this one's probably the better of the 2. Emergency planning, it's just it's what it's all about, right? All schools are required to have a safety plan. Those plans are practiced throughout, you know, using safety drills, whether it's a hard lockdown drill or fire drills. It talks about how adults should respond, but it also trains our students how to respond. You know, the bottom line of this is practice makes perfect, but you got to have a plan. And I'm proud of the efforts our admin teams are making to address those issues and to calm kids through the processes in today's world. As we've gone through our hard lockdown drills, that was tough times. But they've been calm. We've been very positive through that. And once again, Mr. Kent has been, his drive and his focus has been very helpful for them to stay on task. I won't go into the details of here, but just presenting the parts and the content of emergency plans, it's very thorough, if I can say that. Crisis teams, we have a district level crisis team. We also have building level crisis teams. In the event something happens, those teams come together to solve those problems. We also, we continue to try to get better and learn from the things that have happened in our society, or happened in our area here recently. The physical security is also an item that we're continue to address daily. What can we do? What should we do? What's the next greatest thing that's going to make us more safe? We have a great relationship with the Sheriff's Office. Currently, there's 11 SROs on our campuses. 7 of those have assigned locations. 4 rotate between multiple schools. We're in conversations with the Sheriff's Department weekly, if not daily sometimes. And certainly this is one of the issues to increase those numbers, and we're trying to communicate with them through a transition in the Sheriff's Department. Building access controls, it's our focus to have doors locked at all times when classrooms are occupied, to have the doors locked, interior doors and exterior doors. That's our expectation. We're checking those constantly. It's certainly very relevant in today's world to make sure that's the expectation of all of our classrooms. That's pretty tough. Yeah, I'm an old school teacher. My experience was I left the door open, right? We were taught that way. Today's world, that's changed a little bit. So we've just got to kind of get used to the new norm. Video door access controls, the video at the entrances allows our front staff to see those people, address them, talk with them before letting them enter our campuses. The staff badge access system is not new. We continue to update some of our campuses, but that card access system not only protects us from allowing people in the building, it also monitors. It gives us opportunity to know who's come through doors. So from the computer system, we can monitor those who have entered over time. Syntegics, not new. I have my badge in my pocket, but we still feel like that platform, that emergency alert system is very positive. We've put it in the sheriff's deputies' cars as of recent so that they would get that alert on their phones, on their computers. So when an alert happens, when there's a hard lockdown alert, it goes out to all of our law enforcement officers. And, very positive that we can include Jackson County Sheriff's, the Fire and Rescue, and all those departments in those alerts. And when those alerts are out, it tells in that building exactly where the alert came from. So we've moved in a very, very good direction, if I can say that, even here recently. This has kind of come in the last few weeks.
Well, and you've even expanded it for substitute teachers to have access.
We certainly
to
have.
which
We
is-
certainly
I think
have.
is wonderful.
Yeah, it took us a little while to get the badges, but in the last week, that's happened. It may have happened this week, but we have gotten that on task too. So it's very important for everybody to feel safe and secure. Camera systems, 811 cameras installed in our 14 facilities across the district. It was 809 early this morning, and we had 2 more installed yesterday. So we continue to upgrade those. I changed the number. That's just what we do. We're consistently monitoring where it can be more positive. Now, there are budgetary constraints on that, but we're still trying to monitor that and do the right thing when areas need to be covered. Flock, we've got the license plate reader systems on all of our campuses across the district. Permanent facilities, certainly an initiative to make our campuses more safe. Legacy Knoll and Heroes provided relief for our elementaries and our middle school on the west side. It was removing those portable classrooms, those temporary classrooms from those campuses. This is an initiative, and we'll have a board item shortly that will address upcoming issues, and we'll discuss that. But I think this creates a more safe environment. Spoke to a parent earlier this week and had a hero student, and the comment, the relief was, I feel real positive about when I walk in that building that I'm safe and my kids are safe. So it was very positive. And we are hearing from a few parents that want to address concerns, and we think that's positive, that they'll call, discuss it with us, and give them feedback or listen is basically what we can do, and put it on our list of things to consider. The drills, the staff training, Mr. Kent was very involved with the alert training. He brought in law enforcement agencies from across the district this summer. Very positive event. I know we've brought that to the board previously, but as we review our neighbors and things that had occurred there, we believe it's very positive that our agencies, our fire and rescue groups and our local police, our city police and our county governments came together or had the opportunity to come together to get training and to be in our facilities. That's important that they've walked those halls. So if the opportunity is there, they at least have a familiarity with the facility. Fire evacuations things are monthly, of course, with the exception of when we do our hard lockdown drills twice a year. The key to this is our partners. We know that the Sheriff's Office is a very good partner of ours. We work closely. They support us. I think we feel like the partnership's very positive. Local fire departments have been on board. Georgia Emergency Management, Homeland Security is a group we talk with regularly. Mr. Kent has a great relationship with that group. Of course, I know Mr. Shanks very well from our previous relationships, but that group's in constant contact with us. But the key to this is our students, our parents, and our community leaders, going back to that connection with our community. I think that's very important. Any questions on this? Additional questions? A lot of information, a lot of things going on. It's a very tough topic. We want to make sure we're at the forefront. We're looking at everything we can look at to keep our kids safe, and where parents feel like when they drop their kids off, their kids are going to be protected. And that's what we can offer. Doc, anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll add, over the last few weeks, we've had multiple meetings with school councils. We had one today where we had all the East Side School Council members, and we've had this conversation. We had a meeting with all of our Villa parents and talked with them. We've talked to our teacher advisory group. We've met with principals. I know principals have had individual meetings with staff members and support staff, and we continue to have conversations with the Sheriff's Office. I know currently right now staffing is an issue at the Sheriff's Department, but Sheriff Mangum has been very kind in, she has sheriff's deputies who are on duty that may not be working anything at the present time, and they've been covering our schools to help us, and that's been happening pretty much daily. So really appreciate that partnership, and we'll continue to work with them to see if, we can get all of our schools covered in the near future.
So moving forward with, I do have one board item. This is an action item. I see where we highlighted discussion. We can discuss it, but at the end of it, this is an action item that we will need you all to vote on and approve. This is exciting news. This is a future. As we look at our numbers and our growth, we're trying to prepare for what's coming. And it's critical at this point to move forward. Anything on this particular project, we're asking for an approval of the construction delivery method for our new pre-K through 12 facility, but this is really a project. It's 3 schools, it's one project. So the project is going to be constructed on the Highway 332 and Boone Road property, the northwest corner of that property, of that intersection. And the Georgia Department of Education requires that the board approve the construction delivery method. So I'm trying to announce that we're moving forward with the project pending the passing of a bond in March. But it's very key to move forward with the construction delivery method, to get it on the agenda to move forward. We're also going to be advertising this project to our CMs in the coming week. We've got to send it to our attorney for approval on the RFP, but once that's approved, we're going to try to put it out for bid in the next few weeks. So this is all about, we believe the construction delivery method of CM at risk is the most positive way to move forward. It's the construction delivery method used for Jackson County High and Legacy and Heroes. It engages the architect with the construction management team so that they can, let me see what it is. Anyway, cut cost and get the job done on time and on budget. So we feel very positive about this, about moving forward. So we're asking for you to approve the construction management risk as the project delivery method for this new pre-K through 12 facility, which is a project. 3 schools, 1 project. Any questions on that? It's exciting.
Yes.
It's exciting. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just say a few things about that, Board. I know we've been working, it feels like 24/7 to try to figure out where to build schools, when to build schools, to address growth, to really work towards not putting ourselves in a position like we had at West Jackson Middle School and where we've had our elementary schools at such large numbers. We feel like this is a forward way of thinking. We work with our county officials. We work with Kevin Poe, Gina Roy, talking about road infrastructure. That's a big concern. We feel like this is a really good site to put 3 schools. We feel like it will help us and address growth needs for many years to come. And it'll be a cluster of schools that our community can be extremely proud of. Anytime you're looking at building new schools and additional schools, people have questions regarding district lines and personnel and all those things. We have plans for those, and we continue to work through those plans. But we also want to, we want to see this go through. There's a bond and an ELOS vote that will take place in March, which will determine whether or not this happens or not. And so we wanted to be forward thinking. We wanted to go ahead and get this on the table. We wanted you guys to have opportunities to think about it before we move forward and get to March.
Thank you, everyone, for coming this evening, presenting. This time, we do have a need to go into executive session to discuss personnel and real estate. If I can have a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right. We will be back. Thank you. Motion to return, please. All in favor? Aye. All right, and then I do need a motion to approve the personnel list. So moved. All in favor? Aye. Aye. All right, thank you. We stand adjourned.